Okay, so these are going to be my videos on the TV shows that came out this week. I'm not going to go too in depth into them, just sort of like quick saying, yeah, here's what I think. And if you want the really in-depth ones, there are loads of YouTubers that do that, like Alex Dawson's a really good one. He goes really in-depth into things. Okay, so this one's going to be about Black Lightning, Arrow, and Supergirl. That's the order I've watched them, so they're all fresh in my mind. And that's how my video is going to work. So I'm going to do one video on a day on these three, then another on Flash and Legends, except for the moment Flash is going to be on its own, because I can talk the most about that, because I actually really like, because that's my favourite show out of the superhero sort of ones. And Legends doesn't come back until April and sometime, so I will be doing videos on Legends. I'm still doing this in April, and just in the future when it comes out. And then on Thursdays, it's going to be a bit different to the others, because so much comes out on Thursday. So you got not Black Lightning. You have Supernatural, Legacies, The Orville, and I think Star Trek Discovery, which will come out, which I'll probably be doing videos on. I might be doing videos on them, I'm not certain at this point, but I probably will then. The ones I'm definitely doing videos on is Supernatural, and Legacies. They're the ones I'm definitely doing videos on. The other, like the Orville and Star Trek Discovery, I might do now and then, just not so sure. But anyway, that's another time. So, first off is Black Lightning, and it starts off with, there is a church service for Khalil after his back was ripped out by Tobias. He's in hospital and he's currently, they say in the episode, fighting for his life, trying to not die, basically. And he is basically, they can't give him any painkillers or anything like that, because ironic considering his name, Painkiller. But yeah, they can't give him anything because basically the toxin that his body produces, which came out from the darts, is too toxic to let. This is what I took from it. Are too toxic to let the painkillers take effect, or let him sleep or anything like that. So that's why he looks like he's in so much pain, that and the hole in his back. Yeah, and so basically just them going off and saying, yeah, so he's dying, and then it cuts off again to Reverend Holt, the preacher, and he has had a heart attack, because the assassin that Tobias was using to find Khalil has gone after him, has gone after the Reverend, and has killed him with poison. That's to make it look like he has a heart attack, so it won't be much investigation into it. It doesn't take too long though for them to realise that it was poison, because they obviously use Gambi to do the thing, and so yeah, he was poisoned with this. So we know Tobias did it, but they often can't prove that, which is what they're trying to do. So then it goes on to say how basically the whole of it is focused on basically Jennifer and her dealing with her powers a bit more for a part of it, because there's a part of it where she is just gone outside to have a moment to be sad because her boyfriend's dying, but then a woman comes outside and immediately assumes that she is stealing her car because she's leant up against the car crying, and she assumes that she is stealing it because, unfortunately, because she's African American. She says it in the thing. She's saying, "Oh yeah, she threatened me" and stuff like that. Obviously, she didn't. She was just being upset. And then so Jennifer gets so upset about this that she uses her powers to blow up the car. And she gets immediate about that, and it's just like, oh my god, my handbag was in there. It was so expensive. And you're not feeling sorry for her. It's basically what I'm saying. The woman, you're not feeling sorry for her. So then basically, Black Lightning, Jefferson takes her inside and tries to siphon off the electricity coming off Jennifer, but there's so much of it that she can't because she's in such an emotional state. So the psychic that comes, that has been helping her with the rooms and like the salon and stuff like that, comes in saying like, oh yeah, no, I felt that you needed help, helps her calm herself, and she basically isn't on fire, which is what it looks like. It's quite a cool effect, I think, because I've seen the like what she looks like in the comics, and it is very like lightning bolts pretty much coming out of her, and the suit that looks that she has further on, because I think that she wants to go on to then kill Tobias because he killed Khalil. Oh yeah, spoiler, Khalil dies in the end because of through his injuries. And so in the next episode, I think Jennifer wants to take revenge, which is why I think she joins her dad and her sister in crime fighting. But there is also there's also another part with Tobias and the doctor that killed the pod kids, that killed half the pod kids, is in prison, but Tobias knows her. Yeah, so Tobias knows her because she is the one that created the anti-aging serum that is keeping him and her so young, and I think it's keeping her, it's Tobias' sister, alive as well, because there's that painting of the woman that was his sister from last season, but she died, so he can be killed. It's not like he's immortal, but it just basically, I think it slows down the aging to such a level where it doesn't appear that they age. So then, and it also gives him super strength, which they show because he just picks up a body and throws it across the room like it's nothing. And he does the same with Khalil by picking him up, like at the end of the last episode. And so then it goes on to the fact that she knows where the super metas are, that are under the clinic that Tobias wants. Which they do this thing which they did the same as the end of last season, where he opens it and there's just this big green light. Oh. I'm an idiot. Green light as I'm just realising that the green light, as in because the green light drug gave them the powers, but green. Wow, I'm an idiot. So yeah, the green light made the metas, and so. What I'm wondering though is that if those metas exist, why is it that they don't like they had such trouble keeping them alive, the other metas alive? Because if these super metas are what they are called, super metas, surely they're even more unstable than the rest of the pod kids. So that means that maybe they're at more of a risk. I don't know. Like I said, they're setting up more things for it. But yeah, so basically, what happens in this episode? Reverend Holt dies, Khalil dies, which sets Jennifer up for her arc to get revenge on Tobias, and but so I think she is learning to control her powers more because she sees the electrical impulses in Khalil, which makes her think that maybe she can jumpstart them because they're moving so slow, but usually they've been moving so fast. But it's not, so that means he's dying, so she can see him dying. And she basically just goes to her mum and saying, please just like put him in a pod until we can figure out how to save him. But like I said before, the toxin that his body is producing, it's just making it so that it's impossible to put him under. So, and if they can't put him under, they can't put him in the pod, and if they can't put him in the pod, then he dies. And that's what they do. So they have this nice little, him and Jennifer have a nice little moment. Jennifer basically takes him into her mindscape that she is going through, but it's her prom. I didn't know she could do that. It might be something. I hope that they explain that, because it's not. If the psychic woman was there and it was actually them doing it, and like you could see that they had a connection, bringing them together and having his last moments, but it's not. It's just her and Khalil's mother mourning at him dying. But there's no. Maybe it's something to do with her powers. Maybe it's something to do with the psychic woman is close by. I just hope they explain it, because it doesn't make much sense to me. If anyone knows how that works, then just feel free to say. So yeah, that's Black Lightning episode 11. No, 11. Yes, so it's episode 11, but there are only 16 episodes in the season. So it only has a few episodes left, so it'll be interesting to see how this ends. So, now I move on to Arrow. So, in Arrow, it starts off with Laurel and Oliver doing a interview for the Channel 52 News. I've always liked that they, just a side tangent, I've always liked how the Arrowverse has had that Channel 52 because of the New 52 and all that, and just how they kept that in continuity for them. But anyway, so it starts off with them saying how these, Laurel and Tim have basically redeemed themselves to the public because they're ex-vigilantes now working for Laurel for the DEA, being the DEA, and Oliver working with the SCPD. Instead of not against them, they were against them, but as in with actually properly with them now. So yeah, no, it was a good episode because it brings up the fact that Oliver in the interview they say basically that Oliver's father was a hero on the life raft that they touched on earlier in the season for sacrificing himself, when in reality he murdered his bodyguard and killed himself. So, and it basically deals. I think this episode is dealing with the consequences of him lying and him not lying for so long. And the person that's giving the interview is later on captured by someone and goes on the news later on saying Oliver Quinn's not a hero, he's a liar, fire him from the SCPD or there will be consequences. They obviously don't fire him. I don't think that's an option. To be fair, Oliver does acknowledge that that's an option after they save the news reporter. They do acknowledge that that's an option, but Diana just is like, no, that's not happening. Just, you can stop right there, because if we do that, then we're just giving him what he wants, and that's not what we want to do. But yeah, and sort of the thing is that the person that kidnapped the news presenter and threatened the policeman later on in the episode is the child of the son of the bodyguard that Oliver's dad killed. And basically he found the transcript from the doctor that was doing experiments on Oliver in Slapside, and it was basically him saying that, yeah, why you lied for so long, why do you get suddenly a free pass, basically. Saying, yeah, no, you it's not fair that you got to live and my father died to save you unwillingly, he was murdered. Yeah, so after his father goes missing on the Queen's Gambit, he fell into a bad crowd, started getting arrested, taking drugs, all that, but then when he heard that Oliver survived, he suddenly started thinking, oh my god, what if my father's alive somehow? Oliver made it off. What if my dad made it off as well? But that's what it going to, saying how Oliver never went to him and said, yeah, no, your father's dead, I'm very sorry, but he's dead. He never went to, in the time that in the 12 years, he said that it's officially 12 years that it happened. You went basically stir crazy for 12 years until a point where it was just like, yeah, no, he's dead. Just, he didn't get closure, basically, and that's what Oliver is feeling guilty about. Which, fair enough, to be fair. I mean, again, I get that you spent 5 years on an island, but you still like should tell him that he didn't survive. I mean, you remembered a lot of stuff, but you might want to tell him at some point. But yeah, it's the sort of thing where it's like, it was a good episode, but it also goes on to how Emiko, I believe that's her name, Emiko, the illegitimate child of Robert Queen, is basically blaming the queens in general, so not just Robert, but Oliver's mother, all of them, for her crappy life, basically, because she grew up in the Glades and her mother died in a fire, and it's all just the sort of thing of, my life's gone to hell because your dad didn't want us to be a part of it, be a part of their life. And there's just, it's a good episode. It leads up to some interesting things which are going to happen in the future, like now that there is Oliver's working with the police and the vigilante, he knows who the vigilante is. That, I guarantee that's going to be a thing later on. Someone's going to question, what did you do with that piece of evidence that we took from that crime scene that the captain gave you? Just said, oh yeah, no, I know who the vigilante is. Yeah, you didn't think of telling us? Yeah. But yeah, it's the sort of thing where it's like, you don't. It's a good episode. I don't know what they're doing with flash forwards or anything. From like last episode, we found out that Renee is in the future. Renee is the mayor of the Glades, Rings the Glades, and that's basically separate from Star City. And you know that he is trying to destroy Star City to make Glades just solely itself. So I don't know what they're doing with that. I think what happened is, in the Elseworlds special, so the Elseworlds crossover, the deal that he made was to basically sacrifice himself for for Barry and Kara to survive running around the world, which would work. Yeah, I just think what it is it's the sort of thing where it's like, this is a world that Oliver isn't a part of. I don't see why they're doing it, honestly. I don't know what it ties in with. It could tie in with the Flash saying like, yeah, this is how crappy the situation gets if Nora stays. It could go into Legends of Tomorrow, because if you remember, Zari's comes from Star City in the future, and that future's basically no metas allowed. Every single meta is persecuted. Even someone they consider. I think I remember right in saying that they consider anyone that is a vigilante or has powers illegal, and Argus is just running everything. But yeah, so maybe it leads into the flash forwards, lead into something with that. Maybe it leads into something with Nora. Maybe it could lead into a million things. I just don't see what they're doing it for, because they haven't said what's going on with Oliver yet or anything like that. So yeah, no, overall good episode, main things that happened. Oliver confesses that this is what happened to everybody. And Emiko decides to give Oliver a chance. Completely forgot about the Suicide Squad. Yeah, so Suicide Squad 2.0, basically it's basically John and Dickel and Lila basically decided to make a new task force. Sorry, my phone went off. So to make a new Suicide Squad and say, yeah, this is what's going on, and we need this man Dante is someone who is funding so many terrorist organisations that we need to stop. Him so much though that we need to get a new Suicide Squad in. So it starts off with what's his name? You know, the villain that from last season. It starts off with him. Deathstroke's son, Cupid, who was in love with Oliver, and the woman from, I think it was the Triad in like the start of the first few seasons. She was like an assassin or something like that. I remember she was in the first season, and I think in the second with like, and she was a part of a few like things with the Triad and stuff. And she's basically just like an assassin. I remember that she was in it. But basically it goes on to saying Curtis is not okay with the whole Suicide Squad thing again. He's saying it's inhuman, we can't be doing this, planting bombs in people no matter how evil is evil itself. So that he comes up with an idea, goes behind John's back and says, yeah, no, I'm going to do this. And it's of basically virtual reality of seeing what they would do in a situation that they are predicting. So I think what they're going to use this for is they will put the people that they want in the Suicide Squad in a into that like trance, that into that virtual reality, and then see what they would do on the mission to predict to see what would happen. So like to see if one would go off the rails or anything like that. So they do that. So that they do that, and it basically gets to a point where they say that Curtis was killed in that virtual reality by, I'm going to say Ramirez, because no, not Ramirez. Why am I forgetting his name all of a sudden? I watched it like half an hour ago. It wasn't that long ago. Why am I forgetting? Diaz! There we go! Again, I'm very sorry for that. I am very new at this, and I know I will not cut this out, because again, still learning the ropes, and I will try and figure out how to cut it out, but I still talk about some stuff, so I'm going to leave it in. Yeah, so Ramirez... I've forgotten it again! How do I do that? Tell me if you do that, like... You just get this moment where you're like, yeah, no, I know what I'm thinking about. Diaz, there we go again. Right, Diaz. So, sorry about that. Yeah, so Diaz basically tries to escape and takes the rest of the Suicide Squad as, like, I think it's like that it's supposed to be a distraction for Argus to deal with them instead of having to focus on him. And he goes to a car in the Argus parking lot, I guess, and uses it, and Curtis confronts him, and Diaz kills him in like this virtual reality. Again, Diaz doesn't know that this is virtual reality, I should say. He thinks this is all legit, and drives his way off, puts in a number to call Dante, and he finds out that it's Curtis, so he realises that it's a virtual reality. It all just comes shattering down, finds that out, and John Diggle is just like, yeah, well done, we found out that we've got great intel now from Diaz about Dante, and this is going to be great for the Suicide Squads because we can then predict what's going to happen. But that's not what Curtis created it for. He created it to get the information. So he just sort of goes to John and saying, no, I'm not just being if you want me to follow orders blindly, you have got the wrong person for this. I'm going to be I will do things that I want to do, and I'm not sure, I don't think he quits. I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure he doesn't quit, but he just says, yeah, do not ask me to do stuff that I will not do, because I will not do it. I think that's sort of what he goes on. And yeah, so that's Arrow. Interesting things that happened. Emiko sort of gives Oliver a chance. Oliver promises Star City to always tell them the truth, and he will always be on the side of the law. We all know that's not going to happen. Oliver's going to do something where Oliver can be pushed to a situation where it's going to be either you choose like Felicity or the rest of the world, and oh god, so much happened in this episode. I'm just remembering now. Actually, I'm going to make a list. This is going to be a teaching method for me. That I'm going to make a list of stuff that happened, just points and plots, because 3 plots happened in this one. So it happened with Oliver and the bodyguard's son, the Suicide Squad with Diggle and Curtis, and another one with Laurel and Felicity. So they're like actually friends now, apparently. And it's basically, she has a stalker, which she thinks this person is from Earth 2. I had a feeling he wasn't from Earth 2, he was the Earth 1 counterpart. From when we first saw him, like, yeah, no, it doesn't look like he's anything like that. But yeah, so on Earth 2, basically, when Laurel got her canary cry, she used it to kill this guy that killed Earth 2's Quentin. Detective Mads, and so she thinks that that's him, and she goes to try and kill him again, but Felicity stops her and says, yeah, no, you can't be doing this, you're the DEA now, and you can't just go around killing people, whoever you want. And it's basically just, yeah, okay, fine, I won't do it. And you actually find out that she doesn't kill the Earth 2 one. Or no, what I think happened is she canary cried him. She didn't end up killing him there and then, but then he stumbled back to his apartment and he died on the spot then. So I still think that she killed him. But yeah, no, so that happened. So, okay, last time I'm doing this. Interestingly that happened. Suicide Squad with Curtis and the rest of them. Curtis basically tells John that he can't just be doing this. Oliver is confronted by his father's mistakes and he has to try and make up for them. He gets Emiko to actually listen to him. She says she's going to think about talking, whereas otherwise before she just wasn't talking. She's now going to say, yeah, okay, fine, I will think about it. So yeah, I think that's good. I think it's going to be interesting to see where the season goes in all. I think that Arrow is really actually doing quite well. It's better than season 3. Season 3 was a train wreck. But yeah, no, it's doing good. I think what it is that they're taking this season as a sort of, here I am, this is what's going to happen. That we're setting up for the end now, because I do think that it's going to. I think it might be last season. I think will be next season, but I think that it's not going to be a full season. I think what they might do is have a end it at the crossover. So they will have they won't have a full season, because I think what they should. This is what I think all the Arrowverse shows should do. It's including Black Lightning. I think they should have the first half of their season dedicated to Crisis on Earth, on Infinite Earths. I know they're not going to do that, but I just think it would be good to just have, maybe not the entirety of the season, maybe just like this, the first half of the season, so up to the season break, up until Christmas of this year. Oh god, Christmas! Yeah, it is Christmas this year, isn't it? I think that they start doing that. But yeah, I think that they should have it so that there isn't just like one episode per show. I think they should at the least have it at 2 episodes per show for that for Crisis on Infinite Earths, because it's a big story. It is literally one of the landmark-ish stories of DC Comics. So yeah, that's my thoughts on Black Lightning and Arrow. So lastly is Supergirl. So in Supergirl, in the last episode of Supergirl, we had it so that Alex had to be mind wiped because the general, I can't remember her name, but the general that's at the DEO at the moment is trying to find out who Supergirl really is, and it's basically just they've learnt that taking away Alex's memory of Kara being from another world. So it's not just that she's forgotten that she is Supergirl, it's that she's forgotten everything. The only thing that she knows is that not everything. She knows that that's her sister. They have the childhood memories, that she just doesn't know she's from another planet, so she doesn't know she's Supergirl. So that means that Alex doesn't have the main drive to help everyone now. So I think what they're doing is trying to make her mainly focus on helping humans instead of aliens and humans now, because at the moment Supergirl has been very iffy this season. I mean, they're doing a lot of sort of things like aliens are on this world all the time now, and it's just humans are going to have to deal with it because that's happening. But it's sort of like they're going with sort of like movement with like I think the Children of Liberty, I think that's what they're calling them, are like an example of like racism and stuff like that in shows for the show, and I like it. It's a good like thing for them to do, and I just think that it's one of the things that they are doing this season. I'm interested to see on where this like red this, I think I saw someone call it the Red Daughter of Krypton or something like that, the basically Russian Supergirl, which Russia are training, which I don't think she died. I think she's now unconscious, but I want to see where that's going, and I think we're going to get to that now. But something else that's interesting is that in this episode they go into Nia, who is the sort of trainee at Catco that is from another world. I think she's half alien and half human, but from that world that she's from, that her mother's from, basically every woman in her family has the ability to dream the future. So it starts off with but it's only the daughter. Now here's the interesting thing with that, is that Nia is, in the show, she is transgender, and they have there's this really interesting thing that they go through, saying how like there's a drive on the way up to the way that they sort of describe it as this paradise town where aliens and humans are considered that are treated equally, and basically Nia is a transgender, so that means that she wasn't born a daughter, her mother's daughter, she was born her mother's son. So that means that her sister thinks that she is getting the powers, which everyone thinks, but then she gets the power, that Nia gets the powers, and it starts off this very interesting conversation that her sister's basically angry with her because, first of all, not telling her that she had the powers and making her think that she was going blind, because if in that family, if you don't get the powers for that generation, you go blind. And she just sort of feels like her sister kept everything from her, that Nia kept it all from her, and she actually just said, I believe I'm ad-libbing here, so I could be wrong, but she said, how did someone, the powers are supposed to come from mother to daughter, so how did someone like you get it? How did you get these powers? I was supposed to get them. You're not even a real woman. Which you can see is just instantly, as soon as the sister says that, you can sort of tell that she didn't mean to say that. She just sort of caught up in the emotion, I think, which is going to be something along later in line. But what I'm liking is that the trailer for the next episode shows Nia as helping Supergirl fight crime, and actually Kara reveals herself as Supergirl to Nia because she wants Nia to know that she knows what's she's going through, because she's going through the same thing with her sister at the moment, as in she is angry with Supergirl because she thinks that she feels vulnerable. She doesn't feel Alex thinks that Supergirl doesn't feel vulnerable, basically doesn't feel like it, feels always strong and stuff like that. But I think what it is that they're trying to do is make it so that Supergirl is the show that of the Arrowverse that is dealing with serious issues. Not saying that none of the other shows do, like Black Lightning deals with serious issues like racial tension and stuff like that, which I think they do. I'm the worst person to ask about this, I think, so I'm not going to. My opinion is that they do a good job of it. If they don't do a good job of it, then I don't know how they do that. But I'm digging myself a hole here. But basically, I think that Supergirl was good. The key moments in that were Nia revealing her powers to her sister, and going through the arc that she's going to go through for the rest of the season, I think. Then the arc of Kara and Alex being separated at the moment, and that's pretty much it, to be honest. I thought that the pills that they got were very good. The giving me strength, the rage pill, I think they call it in the episode, was very interesting because it's sort of very convenient that they were trying to shock I'm going to call her the Red Daughter now, because I believe that's what they call Superman in that alternate comic where Superman landed in Russia. I believe that's what they call it. So the Red Daughter, it dies, they charge it up, defibrillator, charge it, this purple light shoots up, like lightning shoots up, and it makes it so that the pill and the RV is struck with that lightning, where these college kids are making up pills and stuff like that. And the episode in general was just sort of, I thought it was good. It's just it wasn't really the best episode that I've seen this season. But yeah, that's my thoughts. I'm so sorry for the so that's my thoughts on those shows. I will no longer be talking about them, but I am sorry for going off on so many tangents and losing my train of thought so often. I think what I'm going to do now is, you'll get this, I believe I'm going to be doing Flash. I believe I'll do a video on it on Thursday and have it out possibly on Saturday or something like that. And yeah, it was a good episode, but I think basically what I intend on doing is making a list of stuff that I'm gonna watch the episode first, then get my first reaction and get what my first thoughts are down, and then I'm gonna watch it again and just note down parts that happened, key points that happened, because I just went off so many just off train of thought at the moment, so I don't think that's working very well. But still, video's going to be up as soon as I've finished editing it. Leave your thoughts down below, or literally any ideas that you guys have because I know I've gotten a few views now, which I think is quite nice. Thank you for that. So just any thoughts that you guys want to leave down below on how I can improve or anything like that, then just let me know. Oh, and another thing, I bought some new things. So I got these Superman, and I got these Iron Man up here. I just sort of got them because where I bought them, they were on the clearance sale, so I thought, why the hell not? Oh, that screwed up my thing. Sorry about that. I need to stop apologising as well. I'm realising I'm apologising to a camera. Yeah, so leave your thoughts down below, and be sure to, I'm not going to say like the video, I'm just not, I was tempted to then, I'm not. But yeah, feel free to leave your thoughts down below for the third time saying that now, and catch you later. Bye. Okay, so I just want to apologise, because if anyone does see this, this is going to be a great first video for them. But basically, for some reason, I've done 3 different times the same video on my thoughts on Black Lightning, Supergirl and Arrow, and saying what I'm going to be doing with these sort of types of shows. And what has seemed to happen is it's really out of sync, and I've done everything that I can, and honestly all it seems that I can do is just upload it, and there are parts of it where it's in sync, parts where it's not, and I can't. It's just really frustrating, honestly, because you know those videos when people like this, when people say, yeah, no, this is really frustrating that I've lost all my footage. I get where they're coming from, like on YouTube and stuff like that, because this is annoying, and I'm sure there's a fix for it, I just can't find it. and to lose your footage, I imagine, is even worse. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put this on the start of the video. So this isn't the start of the video. This is going to be a bit later on, and I'm going to just say how there is like a thing with it which makes it so it's out of sync basically, and I can't do anything about it at the moment. And every time I've done the video 4 times now, no 3 times, sorry, not 4 times, and I can't get it to sync. So yeah, if anyone knows how to do that, then let me know. But yeah, sorry about that. Go over to the video now.